I've always been a tomboy. Always been a tomboy. Growing up, I think when I became like 5 or 6, my mom started trying to make me carry purses. So I would do little things like if my mom made me carry a purse to church, I would leave it at church. I would leave it at church on purpose and then get home. Where's your purse? Oh my God, I left it at church. And to my mom, like, no, you're starting to leave your purse at church on purpose. So she was like, you act like a little boy all the time. Your clothes are always dirty. I did. I've always been into sports. So as a little girl, I like to climb trees. I like to play basketball. The boys playing football, I want to play football. Mom used to be like, you don't want to be a cheerleader? No, I want to play football. You know, I didn't know football was a guy sport. It's just a sport. To me, I was just a girl that, you know, like boy stuff, a tomboy. I didn't see myself liking other girls because I love boys. I liked all the little boys that I played with. I didn't know anything about gay. Growing up, I never saw it. I never saw, you know, gay boys, gay women. Like, I never saw that. I wasn't brought up around it. But once I got to high school, I did start to see girls liking girls and, you know, guys liking guys. Was it something I would do? No, because I knew my mom or my grandma would kill me. So I kind of like crushed on my first girlfriend at 15. And I was with a guy. That was the first time I had really kind of loved somebody. I really had real feelings for him. But I met a girl and it was like, this is a different type of feeling right here. It was totally different. The vibe is like, that's my friend. And then to me, Mom, can my friend spend the night over here? Sure, that's a girl. So, you know, Mom not knowing anything, that's my girlfriend the whole time. But to Mom, that's my best friend. It was nobody's business. And I never had to worry about it being anybody's business because that's my friend I play basketball with. That's my friend that I hang out with. But to us, my little boo, you know? That's my little boo thing. Well, wanting to come out, my thing was making sure I was with someone that was gonna have my back because I did not know how my family would react. Because if you're not raised around it, it's one thing. I was always into church. My grandmother made us go to church, and that was all I knew. Now, when I decided I was gonna come out, it was once I got to college. Once I got to college, it's like now I'm around older people. Everybody here are, you know, basically adults. You know, if you go to college 18, 19, you're an adult. So now I'm starting to see more. I'm seeing this couple, that couple, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. But to me, how is my family gonna accept this? I couldn't wait to get to college, cut my hair. But at the same time, cutting my hair, I'm like, now what happens when I go home for Thanksgiving? How is Mom gonna feel about that? So it's like, sitting, I'm like, when I go home, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to tell her. I'm gonna have to tell her because by now, me and this female, we're way off. You know, we've been dating, I've been living this whole different double life, you know, because I'm away from my parents. She gotta go home for Thanksgiving. So what are you gonna do? So I'm like, okay, I gotta build up my nerves. So I call, Mom, I'm gonna bring a friend home with me. Can I have my friend come on? Yeah, y'all come on down for Thanksgiving. It's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. I'm saying to her, my mom does not know I like girls. My grandmother doesn't know. Nobody knows in my family. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, let's just go and see how it goes. Maybe I'll tell her, maybe I won't. So everything was just going so good. So I remember my mom sitting on the porch and I was like, how would you feel if I liked girls? She said, what? I said, how would you feel like, well, where would you even get that from? You know, so I'm like, okay, yeah, here we go. This is not gonna go the way I wanted to go. Where would you get that from? You wasn't raised around that. You always been in the church. I was like, I don't know, I just like girls. Like I'm attracted to girls. So you need to pray about that. I said, okay. And I left it at that. I left it. And from there, it was like my mom just had this attitude around the house. And I was like, okay, at this point, I'm feeling uncomfortable in my own home that I've been raised in. And I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. So I was like, let's just go ahead and leave. So like the day after Thanksgiving, we went ahead and left. About a week later, my mom called me. Did you pray about what I asked you? Yeah. So what happened? I said, I still like girls. She said, what? I said, I still like girls. I said, Mom, you know I'm into the church. You know, I know my Bible and stuff. I said, but I like girls, you know. So we hung up. I didn't say nothing else about it. She didn't say nothing else about it. I went on about my way and lived my life. So Christmas came, I didn't come. I didn't come home. I said, I'ma just stay up here, you know, for Christmas. And I think that kind of made my mom feel some type of way as to like, I would rather have my child than to have my child at a distance. Especially if you know, as close as we are, you know what I'm saying, me growing up. We never had any issues, and here it is. My child is trying to change. My child is telling me she's someone else that I didn't know. So versus us not having a relationship at all, let me accept what she got going on and just see how it works. So after a while, my mom just was like, oh, okay, cool. And by the time I started going home, Mom was like, that's my son. And I was like, yes, you know, like, that's it. You know, I was relieved. Coming out church was my biggest thing. How are the Christian people, or should I say the so-called Christian people? Because if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be judging anyone. Regardless of anybody's lifestyle, whatever a person decides to do, you're not God. You can't judge me. So I'm gonna be myself. And if you didn't like it, I was to the point, bye. That's where I had became. As growing up, by the time I reached 20, 21, 22, I didn't care anymore. If you didn't like me or you didn't like what I had going on, it was bye. Okay, you know, next. So I was to a point to where I was comfortable. Nobody was judging me. I could go to church and be comfortable. I could come home to my family and be comfortable. So now let me become somebody else. And that's how I come into Bizz. I got the name Bizz from my uncle. My uncle passed and his name was Big Business. And I just like how he carried himself. He always had money. He always worked. He was a good dad to his kids, good husband. And I was like, okay, I kind of like that. So I started calling myself Miss Bizz. He was Big Business. I was Miss Bizz. So when he passed, I was like, well, gone now. I'm going to be Bizz. Let me become Bizz. And that's how I come into photography. When I graduated from school, it was hard to get a job in the field that I wanted. I majored in communications. So I wanted to do television production. I applied for every news station, radio station. I did it. Nothing. They was like, you don't have experience, lack of experience. I'm like, well, I got all the internships that I did. They was like, that's not enough. And I'm like, well, how is this ever gonna happen? And then I go to college for 5 years to come home and work at the dry cleaners or work at, you know, Walmart or something like that. And I was like, how about I start my own? So I started off doing $25 photo shoots just to kind of, you know, get my name out there, put my name out there. Let's see how people gonna accept me in this area. Because I'm like, here I am, gay female, and now I'm asking people to trust me with your money. And I'm like, I wonder if this just gonna allow me just to shoot people that are in my community. Because I didn't know how the straight people would feel about, okay, just say you're having a wedding and then, but your photographer is a member of the LGBT community. How does, you know, saying it works for the pastor that's gonna marry you, you know, you just never know how people think. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go at it. And I did, I stuck with it. And about 3 years later, it was like, the name Bizz was buzzing all over the city. And I was like, people are really knowing me and accepting me for me. So it was like, it was a hype for me, but at the same time, it was like a goal reached. Everybody around me, nobody has a problem with my lifestyle. My lifestyle is great. My life is great. I enjoy everything I'm doing. Everybody that's around me. I only have people around me that are for me, and that's it. That's how the story crumbles. That's Bizz. This is who I am, and the world accepts me for me.